Hey quilters, welcome to AccuQuilt Live. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday. Emily's in the house. How are you, my friend?
I am great. I'm excited to escape this weather and go to California next week.
Emily thinks she can go on vacation. I know, so next week she will be gone and Joy is gonna help. She's gonna help moderate and co-host our show.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It'll be fun, yes.
Really fun.
So for those of you, I know lots of you in the Midwest had crazy weather yesterday. I know it snowed in Utah. It was 34 in the morning and 91 in the afternoon, and we had tornadoes and thunderstorms, and then it snowed this morning.
Yeah, and now it's back to being just bitter, bitter cold.
Welcome to Nebraska. All right, where is everybody watching from today? Marilyn is watching from Los Angeles. Jeanette is watching from Denmark. She wins. She came from the farthest place. And Sandy from New Hampshire, thanks for watching with us today. Hey, let's highlight the new projects from our countdown video. First, Cindy L. brings us this lovely floral project. And Emily, do you know what die she used?
It's charming. Looks like English paper piecing.
It is.
We used our cube.
Darling, so cute. And right now is a really good time to start doing English paper piecing as you're going to kids' soccer games and sitting outside at baseball and all of that. All right, Diane S. made a fantastic quilt using the Go Maple Leaf die.
Oh, wow.
This is such a great die because it has the little stem, which is it was the conundrum before there was a die.
I couldn't imagine cutting that.
And lastly, we have the super cool rug from Kelly H. Now, Emily, do you know what she used to make that little rug?
Wow, that looks like strip dies galore.
Yes, just strip dies and then you sew them together. I think the lovely Erica has made one of these kind of rugs before. Good job. All right, Quilters, today's show is all about the Goose Tracks die. It was launched as a die to try, and now it is part of our permanent collection. Speaking of die to tries, have you seen the new Go Bird and Birdhouse die? It is only available at AccuQuilt.com through the end of the month. We had such fun making projects last week with it. It was really fun. Be sure and pick one up today. All right, here is my photo of the day. Now, geese fly south for the winter. So a couple of years ago, our whole family met my sister and her family in Moab, Utah, one of my all-time favorite places to go. Arches National Park is there. So the question of the day is, if you could go anywhere, where would you spend your winters? So before the show, we asked the guys in the room, and Justin said somewhere south. I don't know. Brock wants to go to Coldfoot, Alaska in the winter. Go for it. And Joe wants to go to Thailand. Emily, where would you go for the winter?
I'd go to Santa Fe. It's so beautiful there, and there's so many galleries to go to.
It is.
You never get bored.
It's beautiful. Joy's in the room. Where would you go, Joy? She likes the cold. She's going to stay. All right, quilters, we have a bundle and a special offer today for the relaunch of the Goose Tracks die. First, we have the individual Go Goose Tracks die. It's valued at $110. You can get it today for $89.99, saving you $20. Next up, we have the Go Soaring 9-inch block on board die bundle. This one's really great. It comes with the Go Goose Tracks die and the glorified 9 patch, which is the lovely Erica, one of her favorites. It finishes to 9 inches. Lemoyne Star also finishes to 9 inches, and the Go Big Square that finishes to 9 inches. You can get it today for $274, saving you over $94. Now, quilters, keep in mind, you will need a Go Big fabric cutter to cut the Go Big 9-inch finished square, okay? But I think, Emily, we're gonna talk a little bit later about some deals we have on that Go Big.
We sure do.
All right. Now, quilters, if you already own the Go Goose Tracks die, we have you covered. When your order reaches $100 or more, use the promo code SAVEMY40 to take 40% off your order. Plus, wait, there's more. You'll get double reward points till midnight tonight. So you can use those points towards future purchases. Some exclusions apply. Make sure you check the website for details, okay? Today I'm giving away one of our Go Goose Tracks die. Be sure and register for future events on the AccuQuilt event page for your chance to win. By registering, you'll receive event emails. That way you never miss an exciting tutorial. Emily is going to announce the winner of our registered viewer at the end of our show today. Pretty excited about it. All right, So today, the pattern for today's show is called Go Lavender on the Trellis Wall Hanging. It's hanging behind Emily. Be sure and download the free pattern from AccuQuilt.com. Now for this project, you're gonna not only need the goose tracks die, but you're gonna make one of the shoe fly blocks from the 6-inch cube, okay? So make sure you have both of those things, and they have 2 different strip dies on there as well. So Emily, is that 6-inch cube part of our Save 40 today?
It sure is. Yeah, with that code Save My 40 today for orders over $100, you can save that the cost of the 6-inch cube would only be $150 today.
Perfect. So great day to really stock up on those cubes and those companion sets.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this die. It's really fun. I'm gonna move I had my sticky notes so I knew where everybody wanted to go today. All right. Yesterday, people would have wanted to come here because it was so warm. Okay. All right, so first of all, here is our die. It is on a 6x24 die board, so it's gonna fit through all of our cutters, including that Go Me. And you will need a 6x24 cutting mat. Now, all of the shapes are screen printed to keep track of your pieces and to help you stay organized. Each shape also has specialized dog ears. So look at these half square triangles. We've taken off the dog ears. So from this point here to this point here is a perfect 1/4-inch seam. These diamonds right here, that 1/4-inch seam, we've taken off those dog ears. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna tell you to make a test block before you get started on the project, okay? And before we get started on cutting our fabric and laying it out on this die, yesterday we had the relaunch of the die, so you can go back and watch that show from yesterday. Barbara Brackman was on the show with us, and at the very end, Emily, did you watch it where she showed that scrappy block with the Go Goose Tracks die? And I was like, I am gonna go home and make one. So I did, because one, I had the die, and 2, I have scraps. So this is my scrappy block, and I wanted you to know that I think I love it more than the other patterns at all. I just think it was so fun to just go through my scrap bin and just cut up those little pieces. Now, Joe had a great idea. He thought you could make where it's white, make it all scrappy, and then the rest of the block you could make solids.
Oh.
Which I think would look cool as well.
Very cool.
So this is a great way to bust up your scraps, use up your stash. This is my scrappy block. All right. Now, quilters ask us all the time about subcutting. And when you get the die and you get the pattern and you download the pattern, it's gonna tell you how to subcut your fabric so that you're not wasting fabric. And quilters ask me that question all the time, like, Pam, when you talk about subcutting, what does that mean? So I'm gonna show you what that means today. And I have some fabric here that we're gonna subcut and show you, because if you just try to lay chunks of fabric over the shapes, for example, these 2 shapes are the same color. These are gonna be, 4 of them are the same color, and then the other 4 are a different color. But all of these are gonna be white, okay? So if you're following the pattern. And I find that what happens is quilters just take big chunks of fabric and they lay it over here, and then what happens is they are cutting the pieces and it's wasting fabric. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do that. So we're just gonna show you how to cut this little piece right here for the white. So what I do, quilters, is I measure the whole row of shapes, all right? And this row of shapes measures to 11 inches, and then the widest shape is about 2.5 inches, or 2.25 inches, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 1/4 inch on either side, and I'm just gonna rough cut a piece that is 11 inches wide. And then what I can do is I can fan fold it back and forth. I'm only gonna, I already have 2 blocks made, so I really only need to fan fold back and forth twice, okay? But if you were following the directions when we talk about fan folding, I'm gonna show you how to do that, all right? So what I've done is I already have my white fabric here, and I've already cut it. I've already just cut a big chunk of it, 11.5 inches, okay? So see right here, I cut it 11.5 inches. Now, remember it was about 2.5 inches, and I only need 2 rows, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my fabric now, and keep in mind, I don't wanna cut this selvage, okay? Because it's gonna look funny if it's in my pieces. So I'm gonna go from the selvage, and I'm just gonna cut about 5¼ inches from the selvage, all right? So I have my little rotary cutter. These are available on our website, so if you don't have one, boy, make sure you put that rotary cutter away. All right, now what I can do then is take my fabric right here and put it right over my die, and I'm just gonna fold it. You wanna make sure you have that lengthwise grain. So here's the selvage. So this is the lengthwise grain. It's nice and tight, look. Nice and tight. This is the bias edge. Look how much stretch. Yeah. If you have that bias edge, as it goes through the cutter, it's gonna really distort your shapes. Okay, so when we talk about fan folding, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back and forth. And when we talk about subcutting, this is what we're gonna do. Because otherwise, I would have just laid a piece of white over there and it would have wasted my fabric, okay? So I've already done my subcutting for my other 2 colors for my diamonds, right here, okay? And then shape C and A, okay? I did the same thing. I measured the width of the 2 shapes, added 1/4 inch, and just subcut my fabric, okay? It's really gonna save you a lot of time. All right, now, don't put your ruler on top of your die and run it through the cutter. Holy smokes. All right, here we go. Emily, while I run this through the cutter, tell us where people are gonna go for the winter.
Absolutely. Robin says she would love to go to Australia.
So isn't it cold in the winter in Australia?
I think, so they have opposite seasons. So when it's winter here,
Oh, I
it's
guess you're
summer
right,
there. Yeah, because they're in the southern hemisphere. So hey,
Glad
why
I
not?
got my cup right there for
It'd
you.
be real hot though in Australia.
Okay, and I really have Australia on my bucket list, but there are bugs and snakes and stuff.
Yeah, there are big creepy crawlies in Australia. That is for sure. My dad lived there for 11 years.
Wow.
Yep, taught English.
Oh, wow. Don't they speak English in Australia?
They do, but you know, like English literature, that kind of thing.
Okay. I'm like, maybe I missed something there. It's going to be the quote of the day,
Love
Brock.
that.
All right, we're going to give it some love. Slide, don't lift. Oh, I do love my job. All right, while I'm pulling this fabric off, tell us, Emily, where else people want to go.
Yes, we've got a couple takers for Hawaii. Barbara, Linda, and Kathy are
Hey, I'd join you there.
absolutely, absolutely. Penny loves Aspen. That's a beautiful.
Oh, because you can ski there. I have good friends that live in Aspen, and
Do you?
I have visited them in the winter so I could go skiing. Yes.
Love that.
I am going to laugh about that all day. All right, quilters. So here's my other tip. I am going to leave my pieces on the die board so I know what shape they are. Okay, so E and F and so forth. Okay. All right, before I lay out my pieces, let's talk about a live event. Hey, tomorrow, I know we don't usually have live events on Thursday, but tomorrow, April 14th at 12 noon Central Time, there is a special class called Mix and Match Magic with Go Cubes. I'm going to teach the class. It's all about the cubes and how they work together, and it's just magical. And we're going to talk about how to create blocks using the cube. It's going to be great. So you want to register for the event on our events page for your chance to win, because we're going to give stuff away tomorrow too. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to lay all of my pieces out. So you know how I do love a good chain piece. All right, so while I'm laying these out, Emily, tell us where else people would like to go.
Yes, I was just trying to rack my brain where Stormy Lake in Wisconsin, is that, WI is Wisconsin, right?
WI is Wisconsin.
So, yeah, Stormy Lake, I've never been there, but that sounds beautiful. Deborah, La Mesa, California.
Oh, yes.
Sounds beautiful.
It's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Southern California.
Hey, Brock, Lisa wants to go to Alaska with you. She wants to see the Northern Lights.
There you go, Brock. We have you all set there, bud.
You've got a travel buddy, just
There
saying.
you go. I do want to see the Northern Lights.
Me too. That's definitely
That was
on
one of our
bucket list.
questions we had maybe last year. I don't remember. And I have not ever seen them, but I would love to.
Absolutely.
Okay, so quilters, see how I'm laying out my blocks, okay? This is piece D, and then these tiny little pieces here are shape E, and we're gonna show you how they're gonna go together beautifully. Okay, keep going, Emily, while I'm laying out my pieces.
Absolutely. Padre Island, Texas, says
I've been
Colleen.
to Padre Island.
Have you?
I have.
That sounds
Yeah,
so
it was
warm.
really fun, actually.
Jenny says, I would go to wherever I can get the most snow, get snowed in and play around in it. She likes to get snowed in.
It's hilarious.
I'm like, hey, Jenny, embrace it. Love
Embrace that. I love that.
it. Tammy says Arizona so she can be with her grandchildren.
Oh, there you go.
See, that's so much fun when you can be with the fam.
It is. All right, so now I've laid out my pieces. I only need 2 of my blocks, but I cut all the 4 colors because I wanted to show you how to lay out your pieces.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. This is a really fun, easy block. And I like it because of all the different colorways you could use with it, right?
And we have a couple questions too, Pam.
Okay, you can ask questions. Okay, so I'm gonna start sewing. Let me show you here real quick.
Perfect.
Okay, now we've cut off the dog ears here. So when I go to sew this piece, it is gonna line up perfectly. And I'm gonna start down here and I'm gonna sew right along this 1/4 inch seam, okay? So I'm gonna do some chain piecing here. So go ahead, Emily, ask me your questions.
Sure. So Kim is wondering, can you unfold all of the shapes on this die?
Yes, you can.
Yes, perfect. And I think, are we going to go through how to make a template for fussy cutting at all?
We are not. We are not.
Okay, can we?
But we could talk about it.
Can we talk about how we would do that?
Yeah, what shape on here do you think you would fussy cut? Because I'm not sure that any of these pieces are big enough. I just want to make sure I didn't.
Well, you know what?
2
Maybe
pieces.
Jackie, maybe we'll do that. We can table this question and maybe we can show that on another program. and we
Yes,
can
we'll
kinda go
talk
through
about
that.
fussy cutting.
I think that's a good
we've
idea.
created some fussy cutting videos.
Oh, that's true. We probably have one that lives in our Facebook and YouTube pages.
Right, right. Okay. All right, so now I've done these, so now I'm gonna do these. Here we go. So notice I'm just taking my time. I'm gonna lay out my block every single time to make sure I sew those pieces correctly.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, go and tell us do we have any more questions?
Let's see, not at the moment, but we still have lots of fun answers for where people would
Okay,
love to winter.
where people are gonna go when it's cold.
Let's see. Ooh, Michelle says the Virgin Islands.
Oh, I have been to St. Croix
Cool.
just for literally a day,
Love that.
but it was a fun trip.
I bet. That would be a fun place to be. Did it have like that beautiful clear blue water?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes, and it was a long time ago. I was in college, and it was a long time ago, and it was just fabulous.
Sounds wonderful. Oh, so Carrie would stay here with Joy and enjoy the season.
Good job. Good job. Somebody needs to stay with Joy.
Exactly. And then, Anne likes to travel around to different warmer places. So she likes to hop.
She and Justin
around.
could hang out because he just wanted to go somewhere warm. Okay, so
Exactly.
now I'm doing this side, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to put my pieces over. This is that shape E to our purple shape A's, D's, whatever they are. Let's look, D's.
Oh, and Deborah's actually wondering what is English piecing, English paper piecing.
Oh, do you know, Emily? Can you tell her?
So it's kind of cool. So, okay, the way that I understand it is that you use a paper template that
Correct.
you cut out, and you attach that paper template to your hexagon that you're going to be paper piecing, and then you hand sew those pieces together.
Correct.
And you can create these beautiful kind of floral, looks or I mean, there's just so many different possibilities with English paper piecing, and they're
Yes.
all beautiful.
Good explanation. And we have on our website lots of videos on how to use English paper piecing
Yes.
that the lovely Erica and I made. And it's great because it's really portable. You can take it when you travel. We have an announcement here in a little bit about where I'm going to be at the end of the month. And I'm going to take some English paper piecing while I travel in the car.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. And that cube, okay, today with the 40% off, the English paper piecing cube, which, has basically everything you need, including to cut the paper templates.
Right.
$185.99 today.
See.
I actually saw, you'll get a kick out of this, Pam. I was at a charity sale this weekend. The proceeds were going to help refugees. And there was a woman who donated a beautiful, so she had taken English paper piecing hexagons, created a 3D violet. And
Oh my goodness.
each hexagon was a petal, and she had painted over those hexagons to create this beautiful 3D flower. It was just
Wow.
stunning. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, now I've sewn my little half square triangles onto my diamonds. And quilters, you want to press your seams open. Emily, do you know why we want to press our seams open?
So that way they nest. And
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of bulk. Yeah, we just have so many little pieces that if we don't, it's just going to be all messy. Oh, look, there's a pin in here. Where's Erica when we need her? All right, and hey, and don't forget, we have wool mats and shovel irons on our website as
sure
well.
do. Yeah, those are great accessories.
So the question is, can using an AccuQuilt system save me time and fabric? And I'm going to tell you that if you follow the pattern and subcut your fabric, you're going to have the between subcutting and using our dies, you are going to cut your fabric the most efficient way possible. And it's going to save you time 90% faster. So you're going to save time and fabric, and both of which are incredibly valuable.
Absolutely.
Yep. Back in the day before I worked here, I've been here 10 years. This is my 10th year this year. I wasted fabric a lot because what I found was as I was cutting pieces, I didn't do it, on the straight of green, or, it was hard to cut half square triangles.
Sure.
And I just wasted a lot of fabric. And now I can do it faster and I don't waste fabric.
Absolutely. Well, when I was chatting just, with that lady who did that, the flower.
Oh, yes.
I was asking her, how did you cut your fabric? How did you cut all these? Because she at least had a couple hundred hexagons in this piece.
Right.
And I said, did you hand cut this? She said, yes, I did. And I said, how long did that take you? Oh, hours and hours.
Oh, and days and days and days.
Exactly. And in my AccuQuilting head, I said, you could have done this in about 15 minutes.
Yes. You could have just cut all the pieces and the paper.
Exactly.
Which is important.
Exactly.
Okay, so look how I'm doing this. I'm just pressing my seams open. They're going to lay nice and flat. All right, Emily, where they're going when it's cold?
Yes. Oh, Kathy wants to go to AccuQuilt in Nebraska.
So people keep emailing me and asking me about that. Our offices are still closed. We used to give tours, and we are not doing that right now. We just want to make sure everybody is safe and healthy.
Exactly.
So I know a lot of people during the summertime traveled and they came to visit us. We will be closed. All right, so now so we've sewn the shape E to the shape D, okay? And now I'm going to show you how to add this is shape F. But don't forget today's deals. We have the individual Go Goose Tracks die and the Soaring 9-inch block and board die bundle, both with special pricing. So remember that block and board has the goose tracks and the Lemoyne Star and the glorified 9-patch and that Go Big 9-inch square. Emily, think of some other 9-inch. So we have the Go Piece Schoolhouse.
We
finishes
do.
to 9 inches. And
We've
what
got
else?
the Starry Path.
Starry Path. I like that one.
The Crossed Canoes is another
Canoes.
really, really fun one. But yeah, those. So if you do get your order to over $100, the Starry Path and the glorified 9-patch, if you did that separately, would be $53.99.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So don't forget to use that code SAVEMY40. Your orders over $100 or more, you're going to save 40% on your orders. Excuse me. And you will get double reward points till midnight. Hey, and quilters, don't forget to sign up for our SMS messages to receive exclusive deals. We're going to send you a little text saying, hey, it's AccuQuilt. Do you get those texts?
I do.
I do.
I always get very excited.
And don't forget, today I'm giving away one of our Goose Tracks dies. Be sure and register for future events on the AccuQuilt event page for your chance to win. All right, now we're gonna sew the shape F right here to this. Now, quilters, you wanna make sure you're sewing them correctly, okay? I feel like sometimes, you know, it might be, this is why I lay my pieces out. Now, as I put my half square triangle over my other shape, look how it lines up perfectly.
Oh, wow.
Okay? I just love the accuracy. You know, that's the thing, and not only is it fast, but it is also accurate.
Yeah, there's nothing more satisfying than when your points just line up so nicely.
Right? You go, oh, I did that. That works.
It's so nice.
Yes. Okay, where are people going, Emily?
Okay, I actually have a fun, kind of an interesting question for you from
Okay.
Joyce. Do you have your shovel iron when you're you know, pressing? Do you have it on high or low?
I have it on high.
On high, yeah, best to get those nice
Yes,
crisp edges.
I do. And when like today when I finished my scrappy block, then I used my big iron to give it a really good press.
Sure.
But when I'm sewing at home or when I'm sewing here in the studio, that little shovel iron, one of our viewers gave us a little tip to put it in a mason jar so it doesn't fall over, and that was brilliant.
Genius.
Yeah, yep.
Love it. And then actually, and we also have a question asking which cube we recommend, which is a really great question.
Yeah, so think about the ready, if you're new to AccuQuilt, if you're new to quilting, I'm gonna tell you the Ready, Set, Go is the system you want. It has our manual Go fabric cutter, it has our 8-inch cube, and our 2.5-inch strip die and all the cutting mats you need. Emily, is that on sale today?
It is. So we actually have both the Ready, Set, Go as well as the Go Big. With that, the code CUT200, you're going to
Okay.
save $200.
Wow.
And if you're looking at, you know, that bundle, the Soaring 9-inch block on board
Right.
die bundle, which, you know, has that Go Big square in it.
Right.
Today's the perfect time to upgrade. So what I would do is, because you can't use more than one code per order,
Right.
but there's no police telling you can't order more than once.
There's
in a
no
day.
order police.
Yeah, so you could order your Go Big, save $200,
Right.
and then order your bundles and use.
Yes, and then come back and save 40 on your dies.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that that's kind of the way to go when we have those cutter specials.
I agree.
I just think it's just a great way to do this.
Yep.
Okay, so look, and again, when I make my blocks, you know how I love to chain piece, and that's the fastest, most efficient way to do it, right? So now we're gonna have this, and we're gonna press our seams open, okay? And you're gonna need a total of 4 of these little units to make your Goose Tracks block. So I did 2 before I started today. And then I was amazed at how quickly they sewed right together. And then I can add these other 2. All right, Miss Emily, where are people wanting to go?
Well, let's see. Mary likes to spend part of the winter in Arizona.
Okay.
Great place to be. Albert says he spends the winter in Borgio, Newfoundland. Says,
Oh my goodness.
I know, right? Says, hate the winters, but love spending time with family and quilting with my sister, and cold winters are perfect for sewing and for making homemade soup.
Okay, totally cool to go there. Newfoundland.
Beautiful.
I mean, wow.
Wow.
Okay, if you're looking for the cold, Albert, though, anytime you want to come to Nebraska,
Absolutely.
we're down for the cold here.
Yes, come join us.
I love it. I love it.
Deborah wants to go to the Keys, which, oh my gosh, those are calling my name right now.
You know, my brother lives in Key West.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's kind of a fun guy. Everybody should know my brother Brian. Holy smokes. He loves it in the Keys. And he grew up in Seattle like I did, and he lived there forever. And it was just too cold for him. Just too damp and cold. So he just was done. So he moved to Florida. And then last year he retired and moved to the Keys. So
Love it.
all right, now I have my pieces sewn. So now I'm going to add these two sections together to make my half goose tracks unit, and then we'll continue to sew. All right, so much watching me sew today. Last week was so fun because you didn't have to watch me sew for very long. We just put the border on our little birdhouse.
I know
block. Oakley is coming this weekend for Easter,
Oh, fun.
and I'm going to let her finish that top that I made last week. So she can just put birds wherever she wants to put them.
Fun.
I'm excited about it. It will be fun. And hopefully it won't snow on Easter, but it's Nebraska after all.
I know, you never do know, right?
No, you never do. That's why they say don't ever plant flowers until after Mother's Day, because it's just, I mean, it's just crazy here.
Absolutely. I know, I've started having like all of my little, rosemary plants and things like that in my herb garden. That just lives inside pretty much year round now.
Yeah, it's just great. All right, where else are people wanting to go? Newfoundland is the best
I know,
so far.
right? And Eva says that we should go to New Zealand instead of Australia. She says no creepy crawlers there.
Because what is there?
None of the big creepy crawlies that are in Australia.
No, but if you want to go to all 7 continents, you have to go to Australia.
This is true. This is true.
Which is huge, by the way. It takes a long time to go to Australia.
Yeah.
Omaha,
It's like
Nebraska.
a 24-hour flight, I think.
Yes, it's just brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I think you'd like, that's like kind of going into the twilight zone and coming
Yeah,
out.
and it's a different day, and I don't know, it's a different time, and
Exactly.
but New Zealand would be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so look at how good my pieces came together because I have that 1/4 inch seam allowance. So again, I'm just going to press my little seams open. All right. Ooh, smoking hot. Ray the other day was working on a project, and he needed a glue gun. I said, really? And he said, yeah, he was working on a project with Oakley. And I said, okay, you guys be really careful. The glue gun is hot. And he looked at me, like I had lost my mind. And then later he showed me the little burn he had from the glue gun. I said, ouch, yeah. Glue guns are like that. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know you're a real crafter when you have, by the amount of glue gun burns you have on your hands.
Right? You've probably never done this, but I've actually stitched over my finger, like with the sewing machine.
No.
Yeah, it hurt.
I bet.
It hurt. It hurt and it broke the needle, which actually made me madder than it did running over it, because then I had to change the needle.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So look, see, I'm just pressing them open.
Love that. I was practicing my pressing. You'd be very proud of me, Pam.
Good. Pressing is important.
It is. Yes.
Yes. Emily learned some things since the first quilt she's made.
I know. It's like I feel like every quilt, they're progressively, we're getting there. We're getting better one by one.
Yeah. In a couple, okay, so here's my halves. I know I should talk about this as I'm sewing. And I just clip my threads when I'm all done, folks. Okay, so here's my halves. I'm going to fold them in half. And then I am going to press it open, and then we're going to add the little bottoms to them, okay? Okay, so can we talk about this, Joe, about in a couple weeks? Oh, good, on a Tuesday. We're having a Mother's Day show in a couple of weeks, and we're having the designer who did the exploding heart block it's very popular right now on Etsy, and a lot of our viewers have made it.
Wow.
Anyway, I am working on that right now because you can make it with a cube.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
can't wait to
I'm
see
really
that one.
excited about it. And mine is going to be completely scrappy. I am going to use fat quarters. You needed 15 fat quarters
Wow.
to make it. I have way more than 15, so I'm golden. Okay, just sewing my pieces. Okay, Emily, where do people want to go unless they have questions about what we're doing here?
Absolutely. I am just checking. Oh, okay. I think you just. Oh, should the. Well, I think you just answered this. Should all seams for goose tracks be pressed open?
Yes.
All of them.
All of them, just because otherwise there is just so much bulk.
Sure.
So many seams. And that's kind of the trick, right? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago of, how do you know? Well, first of all, the pattern is going to tell you. But then if I'm just doing half square triangles, I'm going to press to the dark side.
Okay.
But look at how many seams we made in this little block, right?
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, okay? So now I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press this center seam open, and then I'll be ready to add my half square triangles.
Excellent.
So always read the instructions, read the pattern, okay? And for every die that we launch, new die that we launch, Eric and I make a little video on how to cut it and sew a block, and you can find those on our website and on YouTube. And I would suggest that you go and watch those, because that's kind of it. We just have some really great information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So see, look how pretty this looks.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
I do love the lavender. Are you a fan of purple, Emily?
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite color.
Oh, see, we'll make this block. We'll send it home with Emily. Okay, so look, here we go. Now we're going to add this shape C to our block, and then we'll be ready to add the sashing between it.
Love that.
Okay, so quilters, are you going to the quilt show in Paducah? I am too. Joe and I are going to drive down at the end of the month, and we are going to be shooting some great video down there. And I will be in the Quilt in a Day booth on Thursday at 11 a.m. So if you're in Paducah during Quilt Week, come by and say hi to me. I'll be there from 11 to 12. I would love to meet you. We'll take some selfies. We'll have a great time. All right, so don't forget. All right, Emily, why sew these two? You want to talk about our blog?
Yeah, absolutely. We have such a fantastic blog. So it's a place where you can find exclusive patterns that you will not find on our website. It's exclusively on the blog. That's blog.accuquilt.com. Our go-getters are mainly responsible for it, and they are so creative.
We have amazing go-getters that write beautiful, beautiful patterns.
We really do. There's a couple of ones on the blog this week. Today we just released one that has inspiration from antique goose track quilts. There's some really fun 12-minute last-minute Easter projects that everybody will love. And there's one that's on modern circles right now. So there's just a whole wealth of different.
So many cool things on the blog.
Something for everyone. Yeah, there really is.
I love it. Our blog is great. And like I say, we have some amazing go-getters. Yeah. Yesterday during our re-launch party, we just saw some beautiful patterns.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So now that I have sewn my little blocks, look at our little posies. They look like little purple pansies, don't they?
They really do.
And again, you could totally change up the colorway. We have a great program called Go Quilt, where you can take a pattern and change the colorway. All right, so here's pieces for later. All right, now we're gonna lay out our block.
Now, Kathy's wondering, do you go back and trim all your threads?
I do. When I am all done with a block, then I just go and trim all my threads. Once I give it a really good press, then I do. Yeah, otherwise those threads just get everywhere. Okay, let's lay out our block. Here we go.
This is so pretty.
This is shape B, is our big rectangles. All right, and shape A is here in the middle. Look at this. How pretty is this? All right, so we're gonna start here. Well, we'll start here at the top. So we're gonna add this rectangle to this little posy, then we're gonna add this and sew this. We're gonna press all of our rows towards these rectangles, which is shape B, right? And the cool thing is that because we cut these perfectly and sewed them perfectly, look how well they're gonna line right up.
Oh, wow.
I do love a block that works.
So that's kind of the particular order that you go in, because Jackie was wondering about the order that
Yeah,
you're going
I'm just gonna
in.
start at the top and work my way down. Then I can just chain piece.
Perfect.
Yeah. You know how I do love a good chain piece.
Absolutely. Well, and I was reading about the color purple the other day.
Oh, yes.
And apparently the history of it is that it was so expensive to make because they made it from snails back in
Really?
Yeah, like ancient Rome and Egypt. And Cleopatra famously had purple furniture. And when Caesar saw that she had purple, because he had never seen the color before,
Right.
and so he declared that only he and the senators were allowed to wear one stripe of purple, but that was it. But Caesar, he took that color and he said, nope, this is just for me and for royalty. So that's why you see purple in a
is
lot
for
of
royalty.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, not only do you get sewing tips, you get a little history lesson.
There you go.
Here we go. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna add the other side. I'm really excited about this.
Perfect.
I know, this is such a pretty block.
Do you know what kind of fabric or what line of fabrics you're using today? Is it a particular one or?
I am using the Pam Heller stash fabric.
Pam Heller stash. I love it.
I have no clue.
Nana thinks she recognizes that.
I have lots of friends who are really good about knowing that, you know, it's Michael Miller fabric. I can tell you hands down if it's grunge or Moda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all the days. But if it's anything other than grunge, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track with so many different beautiful designers out there
Right.
and lines and
Right. I mean, Robert Kaufman makes beautiful fabric and Timeless Treasures. We have some great sponsors on our shows, our events, and they are really good about providing us with beautiful fabric. Yesterday, oh man, Andover Fabrics sent
Yes.
these beautiful fabric bundles that was really hard to give away.
I know, right? I was getting those ready to go to the winners today.
Were you the ones
and
doing that?
Yes, I'm the lucky one that gets to send those off, and it's really hard to watch those go away.
Oh.
But they're going to very lucky viewers that I'm sure are going to do some amazing things. I'm hoping that they're going to share their projects once they're done.
Yes, please do. Please do. All right, now I've sewn my block together. Now I'm going to press towards this rectangle in the center and the rectangles here, and then that way my rows will nest. I do love it when they nest, okay? And like I say, when I'm done, I'm going to give this a really, really good press with my big iron. I try not to have my big iron when I'm sewing. It just is so cumbersome. I always use my little shovel iron.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier.
I totally agree with you because I use my big iron usually, and I've been coveting the small iron for a while now, and it's just a matter of ordering it.
We have some great things on our website. Like we have stabilizer now, and we have different kinds of fusible now.
Yes.
And just really, we're kind of becoming that one-stop shop so that, you know, when you're getting applique dyes, make sure you pick up some fusible and make sure you pick up some stabilizer.
And we've got great quilting rulers. I love our rotary cutter. That's just me. I mean,
Yes.
I love all our accessories, and they're great little like gift ideas too, especially like going into like maybe Mother's Day coming up, maybe I don't know, maybe someone in your life has a birthday coming up.
Right.
Those are, and like those scissors that we just released, the perfect
yes.
scissors. We love those.
We also have gift cards that you can email. So if you have a quilter in your life and you're not really sure, you know, what AccuQuilt product they have or what they would like, you can go online and order an email gift card.
Yep, absolutely.
Which would be perfect for a birthday or for Mother's Day.
Absolutely.
That would be fun. All right, where are people going where it's cold in the winter?
Absolutely.
Look
We
at
have,
this.
I know, right? So many places we like to go. Karen says her bucket list trip is Ireland.
Oh, wow.
That would be beautiful.
I have been to just Belfast for a day. I went to London and I had a couple of days off while I was in London. And for $200 round trip, you could go to Belfast
Oh, yeah?
from Heathrow. So I got on a plane and I flew to Belfast. And the cool thing about Belfast is they have this double-decker bus that goes all over the city. It picks you up at the airport.
Oh, wow.
And you get your little hand stamped, and then it just drives all over the city so you can get off and see things or, you know, have lunch or whatever you want to do. And it just makes a big circle, and it always starts and ends at the airport.
Wow.
And so long as you can find the bus, you can travel all over. And it was a really great way to see Belfast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, man.
Okay, hold on here. All of my strings, oh man, they're everywhere. All right, look at this. Look at our fun little Goose Tracks block. So now I would give it a really good press and then it's gonna lay nice together. Now, the other block that's in the pattern behind Emily is, it's called the shoe fly block, but often we refer to it as a variation of churn dash. So here is my pro tip. With this block, you're basically making a churn dash block. So you're gonna use shapes 1 for the center, shapes 3 for the corners, which are half square triangles, and shape 8, which are the rectangles, okay? Did you know that every cube has churn dash? They just finish to different sizes. Now, normally in the cube system, we talk about a 2x2 grid, but churn dash is actually a 3x3 grid. So we have 3 rows, 3 columns. So I used my 6-inch cube to make a 9-inch block. So if you use your 8-inch cube, it's gonna make a 12-inch block. Your 12-inch cube, it's gonna make an 18-inch block. So now I have 2 blocks that are the same size, even though I used my 6-inch cube, okay? So those 6-inch cubes are on sale today, right?
Yep, they sure are. 6-inch cube is going to be $150 today.
Which means the 9-inch cube is going to be as well.
The same thing, yes ma'am.
There we go. All right, quilters, continue to follow the pattern until all the rows are complete. Layer the batting between the quilt top and the backing. Pin or base layers together, quilt as desired. Be sure and share your finished projects with us on our social media platforms. We would love to see them.
Yes, please.
Don't forget to join Eric and me on Tuesday, April 19th at 12 noon Central Time as we launch a new bob die. You are gonna love it. Register in the link below for the chance to win prizes. And speaking of registering, be sure to register for all of our upcoming live shows, including Wednesday shows, tomorrow's Thursday show, okay? Because we are drawing winners for our Spring into Quilting Sweepstakes. During each Tuesday event, we're announcing the weekly winner of $100 in AccuQuilt reward points from the list of registrants. And the sweepstakes grand prize winner of $500 in AccuQuilt reward points will be announced at the April 26th show. For each live event you register for, you receive 1 entry into the grand prize drawing, so take advantage by registering for all of our shows. Don't forget today's deals. We have the individual Go Goose Tracks die and the Go Soaring 9-inch block on board die bundle. It has Goose Tracks and Lemoyne Star and glorified 9-patch and that Go Big 9-inch square, which is perfect for applique and embroidery in the center with special pricing. Or spend $100 and get 40% off your order using that code SAVEMY40. Plus, all orders will get double reward points until midnight tonight. Emily, talk real quick about our cutter sales again. Just give us that code.
Absolutely. So we have a code CUT200, that's CUT200, which will save you $200 off of the Ready Set Go, which is the Go cutter, the 8-inch cube, and that 2-inch strip die. And then we have it off of the Go Big electric as well.
Great day to grade to a cutter.
Absolutely.
All right, Emily, let's announce today's winner of a Go Goose Trucks die.
All righty, drum roll, please. That winner is Margaret Kay from Front Royal, Virginia.
Congratulations, Margaret. You are going to love this die. All right, be sure to join us next week for AccuQuilt Live as we take a look at our brand new Bob die. It's going to be great. Register on the events page for the chance to win prizes. And again, don't forget about tomorrow's class, learning all about the cube. On behalf of our entire team, so we have Lauren and Morgan off site. And do we have anybody else that's helping with our comments today? Joy is here with us.
We have Katie.
Katie is helping with our comments. Okay. Here in the Dream Studio, I have Brock and Justin and Joe and my good friend Emily. I am Pam Heller reminding you at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quote more. I'll see you tomorrow in class.